Speaking of coaches, we were talking about it earlier. You've had Torts twice, and I know obviously we talk a lot, you and I had asked. I think I told you this, Rouse. I had asked, "Is like how's Torts?" Because I've worked with Torts a few times with USA Hockey, and not as a player, obviously, but obviously he's a fiery individual. Always, always has been. But it was amazing just the human that he is. I mean, just we've talked about this before with Scotty Hartnell, a couple other people. He's just the guy would go out of his way in the morning to come say good morning. Hey, do you need anything? This and that. But I had asked DZ earlier in the year. I'm like, hey, how's Torts doing? And he's like, dude, he's like calmed down like so much, right? Like I was like shocked.
He calmed down, but part of it was, I think, him getting older and realizing you can't be that way anymore with how many young guys are in the league now and how they're soft. There's no other way.
Exactly.
These young guys, their opportunities aren't earned; they're given, and to me that breeds this unfortunate culture where hockey is normally known for this amazing culture, and it's definitely changed.
Yeah, entitlement.
Yeah, exactly. Entitlement is ridiculous, and so part of that is towards changing, but also me. I had him at 19. I came in the league as an offensive defenseman. Didn't know fuck all about defending. Just won I was in New York City. It was like showtime, and he talks about I had so much swagger, which I did. But I have him to thank for making him the defenseman I am today. Were there times where I couldn't fucking stand the guy when I was younger? 100%. But looking back, he made me into an all-around defenseman and more importantly, turned me into a man. There's so many life lessons with him that I learned along the way, some hockey related, some life related. And I wish I had him my whole career. I was so happy to play for him again last year. And it was so refreshing to see that his style of coaching was still in the league. Because as I mentioned before, it doesn't exist anymore, where he doesn't give a fuck if you're making $10 million, league minimum, 35, 18. If you deserve to play, you'll play. All he wants to do is win, and he doesn't care about the politics. It's his way or you're gone. And I truly love that about him, because we had Patrick Laine came in last year and they didn't see eye to eye right away because he's pretty fucking lazy, and Torts wasn't having. He's like, I don't care what you do offensively. If you're going to be a liability defensively, this team doesn't go anywhere.
Right.
So I respect the way he coaches, and as you said, him as a human being, which a lot of guys don't see. The media has a field day with him because he gives them quite a bit.
Yeah.
But he is an amazing, amazing human being. So genuine, the biggest heart of anyone I know. And even, now in the summer, we still talk frequently, and he's always there. Like you said, if there's anything you need, call me. Yeah. He's always there for you. He's always a phone call away. And I wish more people, he doesn't care, which I also respect about him. He doesn't care what people who don't know him think about him.
Right.
But I wish more people, the people that talk shit about him, I wish they knew who he was as a human being and as a person, and they would shut their mouths pretty quickly.
Yeah. I think he kind of likes it like that. A little street credit, like you're the crazy ass, and you know what I mean? And everyone kind of thinks that's how he is. I think that's what it seems like anyways, because Hartsey said a lot of the same stuff you're saying. Is like almost like just like the most genuine human, where I think his brother, Hartsey's brother, was in town, and Torts comes along and is so nice to Hartsey, and Hartsey had been scratched for a few games or whatever the hell the story was, and then Hartsey's brother is like, this is the Torts you're talking about? That
this guy's like the nicest.
This is like the nicest guy ever. Maybe it's you, but no, it's good to know. I think that's the stuff that people do need to hear for sure, because the media obviously just runs with his antics, and he's a passionate guy, but behind the passion there's obviously a heart, which is important to talk about.
Yeah, he wants to win as much, if not more, than the players, and he wears his heart on his sleeve. And is he a lot sometimes? Yes, but if you understand that he's doing it just to help you, he's doing it to help you and the team. And what I don't understand is when people talk about, like he's ruining a player or he's ruining the team. Like, why would he do that? Why would someone ruin a player? Because if you ruin a player, it hurts the team, and then it hurts his chances at holding his job, right? It makes no sense. They're just, unfortunately, the uneducated people that still do exist in the media that are talking and have no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah. And there's just a little more strategy probably behind his pushing, right? I mean, I think you said you had him when he was 19, when you were 19 years old, and that's say a long time ago in the grand scheme of coaching and the philosophy and how to push guys, right? I mean, it goes from that age of just like push to now it's like more, the more teaching involved and real communication, and you have to evolve to stay in the league as a player and a coach, but. I think the biggest thing is the communication, how you're delivering the message, right? Because you said like these young guys, they're entitled and they don't do well with, even constructive criticism, let alone just like you're ripping on a guy for a little bit just because you need to and they need to hear it. But, it's whether you call it softening up or just adapting to just the ways of communication, it has to happen. Otherwise you find yourself outside of the league.
That's what was cool this year for me was how everything kind of came full circle, right? I was 19 and I was learning these lessons through him, and we had a younger team this year, and I was seeing how he would treat some younger guys, and I was like, fuck, if only I understood then what I knew now. But I guess that's with anything, right? As you mature and experience and you learn the hard way. And we would joke so often this year or last season, and even through meetings, he would use me as an example with guys, and it was really fun and enjoyable for me to see the other side of it, like coming out the other end, where learning the life lessons that he taught me. And I think it was cool for him too. We talk about it often. He was really proud of me, not just as a hockey player, but as a man, to see how far I've come and how far I've matured. And he's still teaching those lessons today. And we had a guy this year that missed a practice because he had like he had like the sniffles or something. It wasn't COVID because we were tested every single day. And we just like kind of shake our heads, and he's like, see what then we just kind of like, sometimes he wouldn't even have to say anything. We'd look at each other like, oh, fuck, like I remember this, Yeah. So this season was awesome for that, that I got to really see things through and be reunited with him. And I wish every young player had Torts or a coach like Torts early on in their career, because I truly think it would help them later on, and it would certainly bring that culture back that we enjoyed that used to exist.
I remember DZ. I had met Torts. He was one of the coaches at the Olympics. He was assistant to Ron Wilson. Wilson, and there was may have been the first game of the Olympics. We're holding on to a 2-1 lead, and he's the assistant coach. Well, Ryan Callahan's on the team. Okay, we got a 2-1 lead. There's like a minute and a half to go, and Wills throws Phil Kessel out. I love Phil, but he's not a defensive specialist by any means, right? And I remember I just laughed because I was in shock at first, and then I laughed after the game because, like I said, it's under 2 minutes to go, and Torts and poor Callie's like embarrassed. He's got Callie by the back of his jersey, pulling him off the bench and going, "What the fuck, Wilson? Get this guy on the ice. It's fucking minute and a half, And Wilson's like, we're fine, and he's like, no, we're not. This kid can't play D. Like it was like, I'm like, we're at the Olympics. Is this fucking happening, right? And then they're laughing. Obviously they were good buddies and laughing after the game. And I was like, holy shit, and then I get to work with him a few more times with USA Hockey. But God, like you said, man, it's funny. Like he just wants to win.
Yeah, that's it.
Like to me,
can't blame him.
I'm
old school from when I played sports. I never played hockey, but being in hockey for 25 years, like, fuck, the guy just wants to win, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's a lot. You're pushing. It's kind of like Labby. There's a lot of, but fuck, they just want to win,
but like we had spoken about before, it's like he pushes you to the brink, but you realize though later on, once you get through, like his training camps are legendary. Everyone talks about them, like how hard they are. And that's his thing. He doesn't give a shit about preseason. He wants his teams to be in the best shape because he knows come December, come January, February, you're making that playoff push. His whole team is into shape and they're going to be fine, where other teams are now start to deteriorate. Yeah. And then he's able to take over. So his teams, when I had him in New York, when we had really good teams, we were playing playoff hockey come start October. Like the whole year we played playoff hockey, and we didn't have the most skilled teams. We had some high end talent, but not the most skilled. But every year we would beat the shit out of teams, and that was our style. And he knew, we would roll teams over just by being in shape, and we play a hard-nosed game, and teams couldn't keep up with us.